Hey, good morning, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? So, I'm going to try to live up to this quote, the quote from today. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Yesterday my focus was completely off. Completely off. There are things that, and we're going to talk about that this morning since we're starting a new day. But there are things that we need to look at as soon as we get in and we start looking at the market and what's going on. I log in to Thinkorswim just after 6 o'clock, and so what happens is, hold on a second. So yesterday my focus was on the wrong thing. So we're gonna look at. I didn't look at the market. Well, I looked at it, but the focus wasn't there. I knew what the market was telling me. We talked about it. I mentioned it, but I didn't listen, and ended up getting in trouble that way. So if you look at this one thing is a telltale sign of what happened yesterday. You look at Roku here. This is the daily chart. What is the first thing that jumps out at you? We traded on half the volume, well, less than half the volume we traded on Friday. So there was no volatility, there was no volume, there was very little volatility. And you could look at this candle. I know it's kind of hidden in amongst these levels, but you can look at this candle. This is a low volatility indecision candle. I mean, for this stock, this is low volatility. And we noticed it. It was hitting the scan and then going away, which meant it was losing its gap. And the gap, it has to gap up or down $1 to hit our scan. But Roku, $1 gap either way is nothing. We need to be looking for 4 or 5 point gap on it, and it just wasn't there. Plus the market, it had some indecision in it. It was down. So there were a lot of little things, excuse me, a lot of little things that we look at every morning that I just ignored yesterday because I thought I knew what the market was going to do, or I had my own plan, and you can't do that. All right, good morning, Jorge. Good morning, guys. Yeah, SureTrader is back up and running. They got, I guess, a court decision yesterday from what I read, and they're up and running. So we'll see. I haven't tried to take a trade yet, but we'll see. The good thing is, they said they weren't going to charge commissions for the near future. So I don't know if that means just today or if it means the rest of the week or the rest of the month. But no commissions and no withdrawal fees. So I guess that's their way of saying, I'm sorry. I still don't like the way they handle the situation, but customer service has never been their strong suit. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening in the market right now. I don't need that. I want another one. This is the one I want. All right, so you can see here yesterday we pulled back to the 20 and we had a nice little bounce off the 20. This morning we are gapping up. So, we may be getting ready to put in a trend. 302.63, this is the new 52-week high put in last week. I need to raise this a couple of cents. Which is about 3 points away, just over 3 points away from where we are now. It's in striking distance. It is in striking distance. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. You can look at how it's been trading this morning. We've had some movement here. We've got over a point swing. So it looks like we have a little bit of volatility coming in the market today. Yeah, I don't think anybody lost their account. And from what I read, the people who were stuck in trades and lost because of that, they're looking to take care of them too. So I don't know how that's going to work out. And every time I've had an issue, maybe it's because I know how to present it and I have the evidence and I know how to make a case. Maybe that's how they were able to take care of me every time. And maybe they're looking for that, out of everybody. Okay, look, I know you had a problem. Now make a case and convince me that it's something that we need to take care of. And I think they'll take care of it. So I'm thinking that's kind of the MO for getting that stuff taken care of. So I never, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm still under the weather a little bit. It seems like every year when we go from summer to fall, it's like clockwork. And I guess it's gonna do this until I move out of the South. And once I move out of the South, maybe I won't have to deal with this anymore. All right, so yesterday, the consumer confidence report is coming out Tuesday or today. Maybe that's got a little spark. I guess some people, because of the rate cut last week, I guess people are kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. I know Um, the second quarter GDP comes out Thursday, but the big one I think is personal income and spending. Consumer spending is 70% of our GDP. If consumer spending starts to take a hit, this market's coming back. So I think we may get a run up into Friday. We may do the same thing we did last week. Make a run up, maybe Thursday, if not tomorrow. Hit a new 52-week high or all-time high in the SPY and then pull back if the numbers don't look good on Friday. So we'll see. It's something that we just have to wait and see. But I really don't put a whole lot of anything into what the market has done overnight in pre-market unless there's a significant catalyst. If there's no significant catalyst, this doesn't really mean anything. I have to wait until the market opens and we'll see how it's trading that day. Because you can see we gapped up pretty good, but look, this is all coming back. It's working on coming back. So we closed yesterday at 298.21, and we're back to $1 above it now. And we're seeing some selling pressure come in. This is the lower deviation band, this yellow line. I use these to help me determine momentum. I use it to help me determine, are we getting buying or selling pressure? And, this is part of the VWAP study. So this is taking volume and price into consideration. And that's what we trade off of. Every indicator that we use is based on volume or price or both. And any indicator that uses both, I'm going to focus on a little bit more. Now the VWAP as a level of support or resistance, I don't respect as much anymore. But I do pay a lot of attention to the deviation bands from the VWAP study. I tend to pay more attention to them than I do VWAP itself. But that's just a sign of the times. There's going to be a time when VWAP comes back to prominence. But the big guys have to change their game up. They have to change. Once we figure it out, they're not making as much money, so they got to change up their game. And the cycle continues. All right, so let's take a look at Roku here. Now, Roku is somewhat in play today because it had a substantial gap. Now, if this gap closes up, then as far as day trading it, it's going to be a no-go. If it's a carbon copy of yesterday in terms of the volume and the gap, no-go. All day hold, would be a potential. Because this stock has so many swings. And so many swings. And let's look at it from yesterday. Look at what it did yesterday. Okay, we had the huge run up. This right in here is what nailed me. But look at, excuse me, once we put in this high, and these candles are telling the story. Now, they are making higher lows, higher highs, but look at the candlestick formation. These are long wicks rejecting to the upside. Okay, so yeah, if you got in this, if you're looking to hold this the rest of the day, and you're like, hey, we may be putting in a trend here. I mean, you could have gotten in here, or you could have waited until it put in a lower low here, waited for the pop. You know, this is a lower high relative to these three. So you could have gotten in and just held this looking for the close into the day. I mean, this did sell on the close, but we didn't have the volume that we had the day before, and we didn't have the catalyst, and we didn't have the gap at the open. We didn't have anything. So this pretty much said that, hey, we're not going to go anywhere today. We're going to be somewhat range bound. And if you look at let's see if we can put this study in real quick. See if I can get this study in real quick. So initially, this is going to start out on watch, but it may rotate itself off. You know, a lot of stocks, they do start out on watch, but they do rotate themselves off. We've already got the levels drawn. All right, so let me put the opening range study on here. It's not going to pick up from yesterday. Okay. So we've got the low here, the 5-minute opening range low. And this is why I respect the opening range low so much. And the opening range side, the 5-minute. Because we see this a lot. And this is kind of like my you know, this kind of tells me, hey, if a stock can establish outside of its opening range, it's not going to do much that day. All right, so you see, this is where we took it. We dipped outside the opening range. Obviously, this thing is trending down. So that was a clean entry. We just got blown up on it. So I'm not upset at myself about the entry. I'm upset at myself about trading this thing the way I did, the strategy that I used. Because of the lack of volume, lack of catalyst. You know, that was just, you know, messed up. So, you know, here we've got the high and the low, and you can see we pretty much traded inside of it all day. We dipped below it here, but we never closed. We never closed below the low until the last 30 minutes of the day. We closed above the high and never came back. So it pretty much traded sideways all day. These are the stocks that you typically want to stay away from. You know, when they're trading that way. So we've got Roku. We will put this on watch for now, but if it closes this gap up, it's not something that we're going to trade. And okay, KMX. This one's on earnings. You know, earnings, that's my favorite catalyst. All right, so we've got, looks like we have the 52-week high here. Let me change the all right, so we've got a level of support in through here. You can see where we kind of double topped here, or double tapped this level right here and right here. And we actually bounced off of this here pre-market. So we know this is a significant level. And we've got potential to break 52-week high. So we definitely will put this one on watch. I know I short sell a lot, but if a stock sets up long and it gives me a long opportunity, I'm going to take it. Period. I will take it. So far we've got Roku and KMAX. You know, IPWR, this is out of my wheelhouse. It's a low dollar stock, low float. I do not trade those. Real easy stocks to lose your money on, because you'll want to size up. Okay, look, it's you know, if let's say we're trading, let's say we trade Roku and we're only going to go in 200 shares or 300 shares, and it moves 50 cents against us, then that's gonna, if we're in 200 shares and it moves 50 cents against us, we're down $100. So if that's our stop, we out $100. If we go in IPWR, it's one of these high, low float, low dollar stocks, and you know, for that we can't go in 300 shares, and we're gonna need to size up a little bit. And let's say it runs against us and we get stopped out, you know, it blows 50 cents, because a low float stock can rip or tank at any time. You know, 50 cents on 1,000 shares, it's not a good feeling, especially if you're in a smaller account. So we got to stay, and we got to be aware of that. That's why I stay away from those things. So we do have KMX, JBL. This one doesn't quite have 50K yet. This reported this morning, but it just doesn't have the volume. Now KMX, this one, you know, the volume on this is a little sad. I would have wanted to see 2-3 times this. Too low of a price stock. Blackberry's too low. Plus, look at the ATR on these. It's nothing. But no volume on these earnings. So a short watch list. A lot of times a short watch list is the best. You can focus on just one stock. For me, right now, I can tell you my number one watch is going to be KMX. It's going to be my number one watch. But let's look at another stock real quick. This one was on the scan earlier. It may pop up. It may be in play today. This was a nice stock yesterday if you had shares to short. A nice controlled sell-off all day. It's one of these that we like to be in. The only issue with this, it's a lower price stock, so you'd have had to size up a little bit. So 896, this is the 52-week low. We got to a low of 1105 yesterday going into the close. So we've recovered at least a point right now. And we do have some volume. So this is another one that we can keep on watch. It's not. This one can. I'm putting it in play because this one can pick up some volatility going into the open or out of the open. It can pick up some volatility. And even if you don't catch an opening trade, it could set up for an all-day trade. But the issue with this is, the catalyst, may be weak right now. We may have some weak catalysts right now. All we're dealing with now is the fallout from yesterday. It lowered its guidance. Named a new CEO, lowered its guidance. They've got an interim CFO, I think. And so, that's what reacted to it yesterday. Today, we don't really have any fresh guidance. I don't think anybody downgraded it. So this is kind of a secondary or second or third day trade here. But it can be volatile. It's a 28 million share float stock. The price is less than $15. So it can give some good moves. You have to be careful with this. But it's one that we can put on watch. Potentially could give us a secondary move. It is in the news today. It's got good volume. Let me see if they kill the short. If they grabbed up the shares. No, it's still showing shares available to short. And almost 600,000 shares have traded. So all right. So let's kill this. And we'll finalize our watch list. So we're watching Roku, KMX. and OSTK. That's where we're at. Boom. Yeah, I will stream, Jorge. I stream until 10:30, 11, somewhere in there. I'll live stream on YouTube, so you get to see what everybody in the community sees for the first hour and a half or so. Uh, my desktop sometimes just it won't fully load. I have to load it multiple times for everything to get in, and then on top of that, not everything. Nah, the only catalyst on Roku today is that it's being pumped. And I was believing the pumps yesterday because everything that I looked at, they were talking about that Roku was a buy at 100, so I was looking for it to come down. So yesterday, that's what I was kind of looking and expecting it to, come down and test 100, where everybody was gonna start to buy. So I started drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit on it yesterday. But today, it's just being pumped still. More people are pumping it versus saying that it's a dog with fleas, as Gordon Gecko would say. So I don't know if I would be interested in day trading Roku. I would be more interested in an all day hold. I would be more interested in that. KMX is where my focus is going to be, unless it decides that it's not going to do anything. Then we just won't have anything to trade. But I know better than to believe what people write. But they were saying what I wanted to hear, so I wanted to believe it. That's how people, get us to buy stuff. And buy into things. That's the biggest marketing strategy. Tell people what they want to hear and make them feel good about it, and they'll buy anything. That's what happened to me on Roku. Everybody told me what I wanted to hear, and I bought it. But that's why some people get mad at me, because I tell, I'm not gonna lie to I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're messed up, I'm gonna tell you, hey guy, you're kind of messed up. You're gonna have to change the way you think. It's like on more than one occasion, I've had somebody that I was doing mentoring with. Everything I would tell them that I saw, bad habits and things, they told me that's the way they trade. And I'm like, okay, so if it's working for you, what are we doing here? Obviously, if it doesn't work, there's a problem. You're going to have to change the way you trade. And then they're mad because they spent $4,000 or $5,000 learning it, but it's not a viable strategy. It's not how the market works. No, never did trade low floats. I was never a student. Um, I was actually working with them when we started developing the classes. While I was there, I helped work on the classes. But when I started, there was no Warrior Pro or anything like that. It was really a new thing. And what happened, and I'll tell you this story real quick. SureTrader is up to date, Matthew, as far as I can tell. I haven't tried to take a trade yet, so we'll see. But according to SureTrader, they're back online. So what happened was, I learned Ross used to do. He used to do webinars, kind of like what he does now, but nowhere near the marketing that's out there now. It was just more focused. It was an hour long, during the lunchtime hours. And he taught the opening range breakout or breakdown. And that was one of the strategies that he taught. So that's what I learned from him. And it was something that he brought from Jason Bond, because before he started Warrior Trading, he was a moderator at Jason Bond. And I think he might have taught or something there. But I think that's where he got the opening range trade. And that was one of the things he taught. And it was an opening range breakout. So he wasn't teaching the gap and go at the time. And so that was what I fell into. That resonated with me. So I learned that one strategy. And then while I was in there, when I joined, um, there was a guy named Corey who was a moderator who his thing was reversals. And so I learned the reversal strategy from him. And that's when so I had the opening range breakout. At the time, it was 15-minute opening range breakout. And then I picked up the reversal strategy from Corey, the guy Corey that was there. And then I kind of started developing my own thing. And then Mike reached out to me one day and he's like, you call out some pretty good trades. And, he's like, have you thought about, mentoring to help you get to the next level? And no, I hadn't thought about that. At the time I was thinking, why should I waste money on that? So, but I was like, okay, it can't hurt. So I went ahead and signed up for the sessions, and I realized there were some things I needed to clean up. And, he kind of helped me clean those up because we both had the same mindset. It's just that the way he looks at stocks, he'll get in earlier because he's not really doing an opening range breakout. He's kind of waiting for a rejection of a level on the opening candle, and he'll attack it. But me, I had to wait. So that was just a difference in our personalities, our trading personalities. But that's how all of that came about. So I actually started with them and was in the community before that Warrior Pro came out. Then I became a mentor, not a mentor. Well, yeah, I did mentoring with them and moderating. And then I started doing, some of the Warrior Pro classes. So that's kind of how that came about. Yeah, Jason, and that was one of the things that kind of made me move away from that, is because I like doing one-on-one mentoring. I think people need to see and need to connect. That's where true learning takes place. Anybody can read a book, watch a video, and all of that. You can see setups on dead charts all the time. Real simple. You can see the setup. But can you identify it while the market is running? When the candlesticks are flashing, can you identify the setups? That's the key. Yeah. I hated Roberto was going to join me over here until Ross decided to pay him. Yeah, so Roberto's a cool guy. He trades similar to me, but I think he uses a 3-minute chart for the opening range. But I think, we all trade kind of the same stocks, similar styles. Everybody, once you get to a certain point, you're going to make your trading your own. So you may be similar, but you're not going to be identical. You're not going to look exactly like the person that you might have learned from. And that's the key. That's what we're trying to get to. That's the level that we want everybody to get to. The ATR on KMX is over $2. Well, I think it's what, $2.15 or $2.12 or something like that. If when looking at levels before market open, would you include the post-market levels from yesterday? It depends. If the post-market levels from yesterday created a low, or is the low or the high, then I'm gonna pay attention to it. But if it's just in the middle of all the other garbage, then I'm not gonna add it to my chart, because I try not to put as many lines and all that stuff on it. And so here, oh, and I'm thinking, I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. But let's say he may be looking at this stop. If this at the open, this starts to run, he'll buy on the break of the pre-market high. Buy on the break of the pre-market high and look for this thing to keep going. The one-on-one mentoring is a part of the roadmap to success. And you get 6 hours with that. So for $249, you get access to everything. I don't sell my classes individually. If you're a member, you get access to classes. You get access to the chat room. You get access to everything. The only thing you don't get access to is the one-on-one mentoring. Now, if you get the roadmap to success, then you get, that's where the mentoring comes in. And I do offer individual mentoring, but I talk to you kind of personally about that. Now, KMX, I'm looking to day trade it. So the first strategy that I look for every day is the opening range breakout or breakdown. So I let it put in the first 5 minutes, and if it breaks the high, that's the trigger for me to go long. If it breaks the low, that's the trigger for me to go short. So it has to put in the first 5-minute candle. So obviously I would like it to go long and, break out over its 52-week highs. But here's the problem with that. Most people buy on the 52-week high break. I want to be in it taking profit with all the big guys when the little guys are coming in buying on the break. That's why you see a lot of fake breakouts. The big guys are going to be positioned. They're already going to be in the trade. They're probably going to be driving it. And then once it hits, KMX was on my ORV scanner. Yep, at 8, between 8:30 and 9 is when we're looking at the scanners and we're going through it. Let me bring it up. And we're vetting the stocks that are on our scanner. Let's see if it's on there. See, it was on here earlier, I think. What did it do? Pull back? Yeah. It pulled back. A little bit. I'm not sure what it did, but it was on. There it is. The hell am I talking about? It's right there. Yeah, opening range breakout. Yeah. Yeah, so JBL finally hit it. It didn't have enough volume early. So this will be one you could put on for potential secondary trade. But my number one watch is KMX. Yeah, we got audio. I went to go fill up my water. Well, when the market opens after the first 5 minutes, we should see the spread come together. Cause like JBL, it has a 30-cent spread. It's funny how Roku has a better spread than all the rest. But I don't typically have a max daily loss, but it's really based on. I have a max loss per trade, which is about 150 to 200 bucks, is kind of where I have it set. And two, if I lose two max loss stop outs in a row, I pretty much stop for the day. I may come back at after lunch and look to see if there's a plus plus setup, but it's just like yesterday. Yesterday I hit my max stop out twice. But that was my larger account. So I was risking $1,000 to make 3,000. On both trade attempts. So once I hit my max loss on two trades in a row, I feel like, hey, you're not connected today, so it's time to just shut it down and come back tomorrow. Because I'm a big advocate on not watching your P&L throughout the day. Because it makes you do it. When I was watching it, I would make stupid decisions. And that's why I don't believe you should set daily dollar amount goals. Because what happens, let's say you're at 197.50 and your goal is 200 bucks. You may want to take a little $25 trade just to get over 200 for the day, and you end up losing 150 bucks. Then you're going to have to go out and try to find another trade to get you back to your 200. Let's say you lose on it. The later in the day you get, the less likely you are to find a solid trade, because the volume goes out, the volatility goes down. All right, it's time. So let's see what this does here. Damn if Roku isn't selling off. So like I said, Roku I'm looking at it for an all-day hold. Not looking at it to not so much looking for it to day trade. So, we take what the market gives us. Oh, man, look at this. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. What the hell? We talking about Roku being bipolar. Look at this garbage. Yeah, this is why I wait for the first 5 minutes. Because here's the trading range. Here's a trading range right here. If we went short, it closed up the whole trading range in this one candle. So if we were going short, we closed it up. But look at this candle here. We may put in the same candle. You just don't know yet. But look at this resistance. Stuff this for the last hour of pre-market. So you got to pay attention to that. So we gotta wait. This is why we wait why I wait the first 5 minutes. But I look at KMX and the first candle looks just like the first candle on the SPY. Identical. And I think we're getting a little squeeze on Roku. And the walls are closing in on OSTK. Walls are closing in on them. No, I would short it under, at this point, it would have to be under the 100 and the 5 minute opening range low. If I would short this, if I bought it, it would have to be over this 90-40 level. So I don't look at a dollar amount up front. I'm just looking at I'm looking at the candlestick formation. Woo, Roku is running. I keep running. Let's see if it gets over 110.75. All right, so JBL is making a nice opening range breakout. The volume is a little lighter than I would like to see, but it's trying to make a breakout there. Oh, shit. So here's where, this is where really good patience, this is the patience and the discipline that every trader has to develop. I know the market's open. I know the best time, the best opportunity to make money is in the first 15 to 30 minutes. But if your strategy, if you don't get a clean setup, you sit on your hands and you wait. Too many mornings I've had to start out in the hole, and I didn't have to. I would have killer days, but end up with average days because I dig a hole for myself. I jump in early. I anticipate the breakdown because I want to make more money. And we can't do that. We wait for our opportunity to hit. And even then, there's no guarantee that we're going to win or that we're going to make money, but it's what we've got to do. It's all about being consistent. So this is when day trading gets boring and gets new traders in trouble. All right, so we're about to be 10 minutes in, and nothing is really breaking one way or the other. Everything is kind of flat. All right, so we're gonna Roku is the only one that's making some noise here. Yeah, Netflix had a downgrade. So if we get Roku to break down, might be good. Yeah, it is hard work to get to that point, and that's what's so difficult about day trading. And remember, I told you how people they tell you what you want to hear, and they market to you telling you what you want to hear. And you have people that tell you that, hey, there's always going to be activity here, there's always going to be activity there, and you're never going to have to sit, and that's just not true. All right, so let's see if we're going to get through this. This is solid support here. So we're going to have to lose this. We're going to have to lose that support. So let's see if we can work our way under it. This is solid, guys. This is solid. I'm gonna try to have some patience and hold off for the next minute. Then the spread, I'm gonna have to go in with a little bit smaller size. I don't really like the spread on this right now. God dog, look at this thing sell. It's taking up all the trading range on this candle. It's taking up all the trading range. See, this is what I don't like right now. Look how it's it held a 2 minute right there. The 200 on the 2 minute. OSTK right now doesn't have any range. That's kind of my issue with OSTK. All right, fingers on the trigger here. I hope I don't get a nervous twitch and get in before I want to. All right, we're in. We're looking for it to first get down to this red to green. So we want to see what this is going to do. See if we're going to sell under, stay under the 200, under the 100 and sell. Looks like it was clickbait. But we'll wait. Give it a minute. Looks like we're holding this 200. So we'll give it a minute and see if it works its way through. It'd be really nice if every time you got in a trade, it automatically went in the direction that you wanted it to go. It would be nice. I might have shorted into some support here unwittingly. So let's see. I may have unwittingly shorted into some support because damn if it's not holding up. I don't see it. I don't see it, but I may have unwittingly shorted into some support. Oh, maybe I should have waited for it to actually lose the 200 on the 2 minute. But typically, when it's isolated like that, it just it doesn't offer much support or resistance. But yeah, Darius, I think I unwittingly shorted into that support. There's a level at 87.30 that I didn't see. I thought the next level down was I was looking at the level, the 86, 86.94, which is right under that red to green. So that's why I didn't mark it, because it's right there. No, right there. That's what I was looking for it to hit. But I missed that 87.30 level. That's where my first target is, 86.95. You just have to wait and see if this thing is going to work itself out. It would be so nice if every move went right to where we wanted it to every time without any issues. I wish that was the case. But you got buyers and sellers, you got human emotion, you got people like me that likes to go out and throw stuff. And if we can get under 87, I'll be happy with that. Can't get under 87. And I thought if we got close enough, if we would get close enough to red to green, we could get sucked into the 200 here. The gravity from the 200, a lot of times you got gravity around the 200. It can suck you in or it can pull you to it. That's kind of what I was looking for here. Damn. We didn't quite get there. We didn't get any print under 86. No print under 86. Well, we did 86.96. Come on, sucker. All right. It's proving me that it's not going to work. We get another dip down into the 87 teens, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cover half. Well, so much for it working out on the first attempt. This took a little bit longer to set up. So the volatility that we normally see in the opening range breakdown is just not there. No, my share amount's not normally based on price. It's based on price does play a factor. I mean, I could take 300 shares of this, but it's the spread. And I have to take the spread into consideration. And you can see there were times where the bid was like at 87.05 and the spread was like 87 and the ask was like 87.30 something. So, my share price, my share size is going to be based on where how much room I have to give it, the spread, the price. There's several things that you have to look at. All right, so if we get a flush back, I'm going to try to grab some, but it looks like we're in for a bounce first. We may be in for a bounce first. We'll see. Come on, baby, dump for me. Fall off the truck. Do something. Dump, 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 dump. 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 There we go. Bingo, Keno. All right, got to put my stop in place before we get popped out. Got to allow for 5-cent slippage. I want to get it to 86.50 is kind of where the next target would be if we work ourselves through that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not an Englishman. However, I do have that on my list of places to hit. Do have that on my list of places to hit. All right, so we're on that 86.94 level. That's where I wanted to take profit first. If the 200 wasn't so close, I would have taken 2/3 of my position off there. But I'm looking to take a piece off at the 200 if we can get this quick flush through red to green and this level. This is what is going to be, really tough about this. But oftentimes when you've got the 200 here, you get a quick flush down. Just like somebody flushes the toilet, you get a quick flush down. So that's what I'm looking for to happen, right into the 200. So maybe we get a flush. Maybe we get a quick flush. You know, worst case scenario, we end up with half the move. You know, it looks like we're bouncing off of red to green and that level. But worst case scenario, we get half the move. You know, we're not red. You know, I'm not starting the day off in the hole. And I can always come back and try to catch another piece of this.
FLR.
Always. So, so Roku kind of looks like it did yesterday. Kind of looks like what it did yesterday. So we're gonna get in a piece. See if we can get this thing to sell off to 100 today. And hold it the rest of the day. No, I don't have a technical stop. Once I take profit one time, my stop's always going to be break even. Now, once I take two profit stops, then I'll start using technical levels. Come on, 200, suck it in. Suck in that gut. Suck in that gut. Suck in that gut. Suck it in. Oh no, my stop wasn't 89. Heck no. All right, so we got hit. We got hit at the 200. Now we're going to wait and see how far this thing can go. How low can you go? How low can you go? How low can you go, Roku? So I'm gonna be looking for 100 on Roku today. That's the goal.
FLR.
With potentially a stop off at 103. Yeah, I told you I was getting in. I was taking a piece, taking some of Roku, looking for an all-day hold. Let's see what we can get on this. We can get through 86. It like break of the 5 minute, the 5 minute opening range low. Okay, 85.40 is the 200. I mean the 20. Sorry. The daily 20. Which would be a target here. And then right under that is the 50. Which is 85.26.
FLR.
Yeah, I don't have time to post it right now. If I'm actively in a day trade, I don't really get to post it till afterwards. And so 85.23. So 85.23. This is no, this isn't the 100. This is the 50. I got the wrong color here. This is the 50. So that's my final target would be 85.40 on this.
FLR.
Okay, buy stop range. Okay, stop price is gonna be what is that? 87.50. Yeah. And target's gonna be 85. No, they have to be 87.25. I'm looking at the wrong price. Because stop, if it breaks through and goes green on the day and takes out this level here, and I'm going to give it enough room to test that. So 86.25 would be the stop. And you know, obviously this is my final target down here. The 200 was the ultimate target. I got this last piece on to see if we get some more. So we'll see. So I put in a range order and we'll see where it goes from there. Now, on the all-day holds, I'm going to give you my ideas. I'm going to tell you what my idea is. But because I can't stream both of these at the same time, that's all I can do is tell you my idea. Really? Really? Come on and hit my order, man. There we go. We're done. We're done, ladies and gents. I know this thing looks like it wants to keep selling, but we're done. Hell, it might hit 84.11.
FLR.
All right, that's the idea that I told you guys that I had on Roku. That's the idea. I had my, maybe I could have put it at the 50 at 85.23. Cause see, what was the low of this? The low of this candle was 85.06. All right, so you guys know the drill on this. If we set up for, you know, if we get a nice bounce and we set up for a trend continuation, that we're going to stay locked in on this. So we're looking for a potential bounce and a rejection, and then we'll look for some trend continuation. Maybe this selling off the rest of the day. 84.12, I don't think you're going to be able to see this on here. 84.12 is the 100-day, the 90-day moving average on the daily chart. So you may not see this. So if we get a bounce and a rejection, I'll be looking for it to sell back through these levels. Now, obviously, I'm going to take profit here again, but I'll be looking for it to sell through those levels. That's what is posted. It's for ADH. Let's stop over. I left out over. All right, so this is a key example in why you got to be patient and why you shouldn't trade your P&L. Because I got 2 PMs, and I'm sure there's more, that took their trade off right here. And they admitted they were watching their P&L and they want help. So I'll do a quick lesson on it when I do the recap today. See, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for admitting it. I'm proud of all you guys that admitted how you got shaken out. It's a big problem. It is a big issue. I will address that. I'll put something together. When I do the recap, I'll address that. Definitely. No, it's. I mean, yes and no. It's a little bit too volatile. Look at the spread right now. I'm not 100% comfortable with that. I don't know what's going on with it right now, but that spread is a little bit much for me. So this is kind of telling me that we may be done here. China's not stealing tech from us. We're stealing China. We're stealing tech from China. Now, all of these years, if you go back and look at all of these years, um, America, we were kind of at the forefront of technological advancement, but the reason we are and the reason we were is because we were able to buy the best scientists from other countries. That's why we were always in the front. My grandfather worked on the Manhattan Project, and he told me they brought in a lot of scientists that they paid from overseas when we were in the race to space. We went out and we were able to buy all of the big scientists from overseas. Now we don't have the money to do that. And countries are seeing that, hey, if we can do this, that's going to put us on the playing field, with everybody else. And so we're not able to do that anymore. Even with the automobile, a lot of people think Henry Ford was the one that, designed the first automobile. He wasn't. The technology came from Germany. Carl Benz and Daimler Gottlieb. Henry Ford was smart enough to perfect the manufacturing process. So he was the first one to be able to make some serious money doing it. See, I don't like this. I don't like this price action. And I don't like the spreads on this right now. So I would have trouble getting back in this stock. Especially because we've got two solid levels of daily support right here. That when it hit, look at how aggressively it got bought up. So I would have an issue doing this. Man, don't get me started on electric cars. Do you know we had electric cars back in the 19? But because yeah, I used to show that documentary to my students every year. Who killed the electric car? I used to make my students watch it, and then they had to, write a thesis on who they thought did it based on that documentary. it opens your eyes as to why we don't have electric cars right now and why Tesla is getting all that grief. But Tesla has forced the hand of American auto manufacturers. If it was up to them, there would be no electric cars. There would be no electric cars, period. But Tesla has changed the game. Yep, Tesla has changed the game. Yep, big oil is the reason why we don't have electric cars. Man, steam. Do you know how dangerous it was to drive those steam cars, those steam powered cars? Those things were loud, and dude, if that cylinder burst or cracked, forget about it. Because what you'd have to do is you'd have to sit, let the steam build up, and then you release it. It would go, it would propel the car, and you would have to keep stopping, letting the steam build up, and then let it go. Eventually, they came up with a better process, but all right, looks like it's setting up. I don't know. I just don't like it. I'll pass on it. I'm going to pass on it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Unless, now, if this lower deviation band opens up, I may give it a shot. Maybe under 86. I don't like this. I don't like this unless it gets under this. I don't like the price action. See what I mean? I don't really like the price action here. Yeah, you know the first person that designed a a potential internal combustion engine actually designed the pipe bomb, because I can't remember the guy's name. It was a French guy, and what he envisioned was using gunpowder for fuel. And that's what his design was. It was a one cylinder engine. It was pretty much a pipe bomb. And if he ever tried to run it on gunpowder, he'd have blown himself sky high. Yes, the oil companies had lobbyists and they fought. Okay, back in the 90s, um, California, they were ahead of everybody in their emission laws and stuff. And they were on on track to have zero emission cars. And so, of course, the lobbyists came in and threw their money, threw that big oil money around, and they folded. But here's why the auto dealers, because everybody had a piece in this. On electric cars, what do you service on an electric car? If they take it in for servicing, there's nothing. You had tires, brakes. That's it. You know, maybe the air conditioning, but there's nothing to repair. So the car dealers, I don't know if you know it or not, but the car dealers make their money on service. Service is where they make their money. They don't really make a whole lot of money on selling cars. But service is where they make their money. And so if they dealers cut out their service, oh man, forget about it. Forget about it. All right. So this is not setting up for a secondary trade. You can see the bounce. This was kind of a telltale sign here. This long wick candle. And remember, this is what we were talking about in the day trading class when we are looking at evaluating each candlestick and what each candlestick is telling us. Okay, this is the strongest of all of the bearish candles. And it was followed up by, a really strong bullish candle. And when you run into resistance like this, every area you run into, you're going to run into buyers and sellers. So the candlestick formations are going to tell you who's in charge. And so for this 5-minute candle, the sellers were in charge. But guess what? We picked up the buyers again. And the buyers bought it right through and held above red to green and this daily level here. And we're over the 9. So we've claimed the 9. We've claimed all of this. This is a very bullish move. So the odds of this thing selling off and taking out the lows are very slim right now. Roku, what's Roku doing? Oh! Come on, 103, baby. 103. It's stuck at that 103.84 level. That's the one that gave me fits the other day. Come on, 103. Hit me, baby, hit me. 103. Oh, no, I wasn't paying attention to it. You set it and forget it. I'm not watching it. I'm in it. I got my target set. I ain't paying attention to it no more. Yeah, I'm Roku for all day hold. Hold on, I'll bring it up. I can't stream multiple live accounts at one time. It does not work. So let me,
BIDU.
oh, I hear the bells ringing. We've hit 103. 100 is the target. This is what I was looking for yesterday. It's a really volatile stock. People like trading it. So it's got big range. I want to take a picture of this because I don't want to draw all these damn lines again. Because once I log out of this, I can't. All right, give me a second. Yeah, I'm getting my damn money back from yesterday. That's what the hell I'm doing. I gave back 20% of my earnings from last week on Roku yesterday. So I'm getting my damn money back.
BIDU.
Let's see if this road loads right. This thing is loading crazy.
BIDU.
Shit. You know what? I'm gonna do this. This thing is moving too damn fast. I'm not gonna take it all off. I'm gonna see how far this thing can go. Yep, I saw the. Well, I wasn't watching PSTV, but I heard about the halt. I know it caught a lot of people. I don't know why I lost my 2-minute chart. This thing is just ridiculous what it does. Ha, bingo. There's 100.
BIDU. BIDU.
Yeah, KMX is still in play if, and only if, it breaks 86.
TTD.
So if you're looking to get in, KMX, I would not do it unless we got under 86. I mean, it's worth me leaving a little piece on to see if we're gonna sell through that today.
BIDU.
It's worth it. All right, so Here's the thing. This is what we'll watch this, but this is what we're supposed to be looking at it on. 60-minute chart. I want to know what the hell happened to my routes. They're not showing up. I don't know what the hell is going on with my routes. Yeah, I was so close to going 1,000 shares a day. I was close, but the setup was so perfect. Well, this was an interesting morning, to say the least. Well, Uncle Sam's gonna get most of it. unfortunately. Yeah, I still take 35 cents, 35% out and put in a tax account every time I wire out. Yeah, I tell you every morning while we're doing this, I'm telling you, I told you exactly what I was doing. So if you're here, you're going to get the ideas. But you got to be here. All right, excellent. I'll be looking out for it. I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, the spread is good on KMX. The problem is, yeah, I'm not going to get in it above 86. If I get back in it, it'll be under 86. Now, all you be doing now is scalping. Yeah, the issue is I can't post it if I'm in the middle of a trade. That's the bottom line. So either I don't say anything at all, or you have to listen for it. That's the problem. Because 90% of the people in here are trying to learn how to trade. And that's what we're focusing on. The people that can trade these all day hoes that have graduated to that, they're not paying attention to me. They're doing their own thing. So the focus is on nailing these trades like KMX, growing your account. Yeah, that's what I did. I told exactly what it was, what we were looking for, where we were looking for it to go. I don't have time to type it out. That's why I'm on audio. I just don't have time to type it out. Now these guys that are faking their trades can type all day because they're not actually trading. So you can figure that out. But definitely once the market, once the market slows down and we're pretty much done for day trading with the morning, I'll swap over, let you see, how I executed the plan. But it's exactly how the first two trades, this is exactly how we did the first two Roku trades. The last one, we got in early pre-market. But the last two is the same entry. No, I don't have an alerts for entry. I'm watching it. So sometimes I'll miss it because my focus is on the stock that we're trading at the moment. So I'll glance over and glance over. But the profit targets, once I type them in, I have an alert on my phone through Thinkorswim to whatever price. So when it gets close to that price, it'll alert me. If it gets close to the stop price, it'll alert me. If it gets close to the profit target, it'll alert me. Jude, I'm not sure. I know that happens to me sometimes on DOS. And I think it may be that I clicked on something by accident. It'll have my bid. It'll have my it'll have half my level 2 inverted. It's like the bid side will be inverted and the ask side will be right. And it would be kind of messed up. So I always think that I clicked on something that accidentally flipped it. But I think on Thinkorswim, I think it's the same thing. I think if you click on it, let me see. Yeah, if you click on it, you see the arrow where bid and ask? I think you clicked on it. You might have accidentally clicked on that arrow. Because now mine is all jacked up. And I don't know what the hell. That's what happened. Alright, you're welcome. I'm always accidentally clicking stuff with the mouse. All right, guys, it is lunchtime for me. So, all you guys on YouTube, thank you for hanging out this morning. We're pretty much done. I was hoping we would get a secondary trade on KMX, but it never set up. And this is another testament of how you got to be patient. You can't anticipate these things. You got to be patient and let this set up. And so if it never did get below 86, there was no entry on it. So it never did. Now it may do it through lunch. It may do it, coming out of lunch, and we get to trade it into the close. But until it breaks that key level, there's no trade for me today. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is what we do every day in chat. I stream live every day. I think you learn better by actually watching it and trading alongside versus somebody calling it out or you seeing it after the fact. So I like to use the chat room as an extension of the classroom. That's what that's about. That's my belief anyway. So you guys have a great rest of the day. If you have any questions or anything and you didn't get to ask them here, just shoot me an email, ed@AverageJoeTrader.com. Let me see. I got to spell it right. Yeah, there it is. ed@AverageJoeTrader.com. Yep, that's it. So just shoot me an email and I will get back with you. So you guys take care and have a great rest of the day.